Hi everyone, I'm Dad,
I'm daughter.
and we are.
Dad and daughter, Formula One duo.
We took a very, very, very long break, because it was an unscheduled break in the Formula One calendar. So we also decided to take a little bit of a break. We've all been out for about a month, but now we're all back. And the Miami Grand Prix happened last night, or yesterday afternoon, I should say, not last night. And it was fun. It was a fun weekend. It was a sprint weekend. There were some regular regulation changes that happened to make qualifying better, to make less of that super clipping that we had talked about in the past. So there was a lot of things that happened. So can you give us a really quick rundown of the sprint and the race?
For the race,
Yeah, so the sprint, what happened in the sprint? You remember who won the sprint?
Lando.
Lando won in the sprint. Yep. Oscar got second. Charles got third. The Mercedes were nowhere to be found. But then
Until the race.
until the Grand Prix, right?
So for the Grand Prix, the winner was Kimi, who's been winning has been winning the last three Grand Prix
He has. He's won the last three Grand Prix, a feat that really hadn't been accomplished. Huh?
in a row.
In a row, yeah. And from pole position,
Yes.
right? The last three Grand Prix winner from pole position, which has been incredible. And I mean, Mercedes has been pretty amazing. Now, granted, even though he was pretty amazing, Kimi was amazing. George has been struggling quite a bit. George ended, I believe, fourth.
It's not
Um,
that bad.
it wasn't that bad. He was a little bit further behind. He was fifth, but then Charles had an issue with the car at the very end. If you remember,
Oh
that
yes.
Charles spun out on the very last lap, which was actually a really exciting kind of part to the end of the race. Um, and then Charles was limping along all the way to the very end and ended in sixth, but then got a 20-second penalty for cutting corners and driving off track and gaining advantages. It was a mess. Max had actually started second, and then you remember what happened to Max at the beginning of the race?
Wait, hold on.
Yes, you do remember. He was started second, and
Oh.
he spun out like right around the second corner, and he ended up going all the way back into ninth position, but then worked his way back up, had some cool strategy changes, was on the hard tires pretty much for the entire race, like over 50 laps. So he did really, really well to be able to do that. Rain was predicted. It had rained a lot in the morning. The Formula 2 race was actually really interesting. Do you remember watching that in the morning a little bit? Just a little bit, yeah. You watched a little bit of that. I got a chance to watch it, and it was a lot of action. There were yellow flags, safety cars, virtual safety cars every 5 seconds, cars spinning everywhere. It was just torrential downpour for them, so it wasn't that great of a race for them. But Colton Herta in Formula 2, who is the Cadillac driver for Formula 2, actually did pretty well. He was, I think he ended eighth or eighth. Yeah, I think he was eighth. I think it was P8. So that was pretty good. So tell us a little bit about how you have felt now with the regulation changes, some of the change, how Formula One is going.
I think that it's definitely adding more action,
Mm,
but at the same time that causes problems for the drivers.
yeah.
So I think I would take off like one or two rules, regulations, sorry.
Okay.
But I still like that there's so much more action now.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, there's still some of that yo-yoing that's kind of happening. Right. That one passes and the other passes. The one who was super vocal about this whole regulation changes is still saying that he didn't really like the cars very much. Was actually in the cool down room after the race, which was Oscar Piastri. And Oscar was very, very vocal. Like, I'm still not very happy about this, but whatever. And Oscar ended third. Yes, Oscar ended third. Lando was second. Mercedes still has like this ginormous lead over everybody in the constructors. Kimi has a ginormous lead over everybody. You know, I think he's got like a 30 or 40 point lead off of George, who is second. Um, but it's been pretty entertaining, right? I don't think there's ever a perfect scenario for anything. I mean, even if we were to say, oh, go back to the old regulations from last year or the year before, there were issues with that. If we went back further and we went to the regulations of like the V8 cars, the V10 cars, there were issues there. Nothing's perfect, so I think we're still working our way on that. So that'll be fun. Um, More races are coming our way, so there's a little bit of a break again, and then
Nice.
we'll get back into more Grand Prix racing. But at the end of the day, it's been actually pretty good. I've really enjoyed it. Um,
So have I.
yeah, you've enjoyed it. You were able to sit down with me for a good amount of the race, and were able to watch it. I'm the one who actually ended up falling asleep for a couple of minutes because I had woken up really early. But then you came along and were like, "Look, what's happening!" And it was actually pretty good. The most interesting thing I think that happened during the race was actually around what, lap 4, lap 5?
Think so?
Yeah, who crashed?
Pierre.
Pierre
He
crashed, right?
flipped.
Yeah, who flipped him?
Um, Liam.
Liam. Oh, Liam Lawson. Uh, I think he called himself at one time the Minister of Defense, what Checo used to call, or what they used to call Checo, because Checo used to be really good at defense, right? In his car, he would hold back all the other cars so Max could get an advantage. Liam said that about himself, and I don't think Liam is
I don't think
the
that's how it
Minister of
works.
Defense. I think he's the Minister of causing chaos. And he like completely got Pierre to flip, and it was a mess. The
Pierre
other
acted so calm though.
he did right, like
He was like, I'm okay.
yeah, when you see the on track video, right, or the onboard video, he's just like, I'm okay, like whatever. The other one that also crashed was, you remember who?
Isaac?
Isaac, yeah. Isaac Hadjar clipped the corner or clipped the wall and then drove straight into the barrier and one of the little chicanes, and it was pretty bad. He was really upset. Like he sat in the car for like a good solid minute, just banging on the wheel and on the halo and everywhere, just banging because he was just really upset. Um, but overall, the race was entertaining. Williams scored points. Then let's see who else.
Cadillac was so close.
Cadillac was not at least at the very very bottom. Checo did actually pretty good. Checo
Yeah.
had some good
He got
overtakes.
16.
I think so. Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. So Checo, the Cadillac's going. I mean, for being their first year, it's not
They're
bad.
doing pretty good.
They're not doing that bad. And having a month off in between Grand Prix, yeah, I think they're doing pretty well. Um, the other ones who are actually doing really well as well are Alpine. If it would have not been for Pierre crashing, right, or Liam crashing into Pierre is what we should say, I really do think that both Pierre and Franco could have scored some points. Franco actually ended up eighth.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so he scored a couple of points. So he's been going. So what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season?
Mm, I'm looking forward to seeing more wins by Kimmy.
Oh.
I know for a fact like he's gonna win. He's been doing amazing, and I know that like it's not just his car; it's
Mm-hmm.
also like his driving that's helping,
Yeah.
right? And I guess I'm also looking forward to seeing the action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking forward to the Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh,
I
really?
really want to see what happens this year. There's
Oh.
always some kind of drama.
There is drama on the Monaco Grand Prix, right? And
That's why it's my second favorite.
yeah, and qualifying is so important at the Monaco Grand Prix, right?
Mhm.
It's so important
If you
there.
don't get first there, then you're getting last.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you don't qualify on pole, it's gonna be really tough. So there are going to be some pretty interesting races. There's been a lot of news about new circuits that are going to be coming out. Portugal is back on the calendar soon. Turkey is also going to be on the calendar. So those are going to be really interesting. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to those. It's been a couple years since they've been on the calendar, so those are going to be pretty nice. All right. Anything else that you want to say or mention before we end for tonight?
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and speak to those notifications, everyone.
Bye.